Good morning. Welcome to your breakfast show, Trading Idea with SMARTRobie, and we all know what happened too, right? The new COVID-19 variant virus called OmiCron has taken the world by storm. By now, you would have seen also last Friday, which was a shorter trading day due to the Thanksgiving. The Dow Jones fell almost 900 points, and our market this morning is taking a little bit of hammering. But of course, you all would know the glove stocks are back, right? The healthcare stocks are up to some of the Moderna and Pfizer, and that's what we have for you in store for today in this breakfast show for Monday, 29th of November. All right, let's take a look what we have in our headline of our news. That's right. Right now, you could see on top of me here, just a reporting. Top Glove was up almost, I think, more than 10%, and today is up 14%. Harta Lega is up 8.67%, but the others are taking a hammering, including all the travel related, which is your Genting and your Air Asia, which is expected in here, and that is usually the case that we get. But a little bit of update on the OmiCron, just the last 10 minutes in here on the news, so I will be sharing with you this morning as we go on to look at what we have for you. And today is our breakfast show, and we're focusing on Pentagon Guider stocks, which is for beginners. So for those of you who are coming, and definitely you will know some of the stocks are basic. But also, let's take a look at the market as we presented here, switching to a wider chart here. You can see on the left hand side of your screen, the foreign funds continue to leave the shores in here. You could see, let me just go back to here, right on the news. Why am I here? Let me just get back to the, oh yes, I have to go back. Okay, never mind. I'll come back to it later. Okay, yeah, that's the one. And you could see many of our market continue to be challenged. Okay, here we are, and I wanted to show you this. Of course, you can see we haven't got any green pentagon yet so far on the left hand side. So that means this market will continue to slide or retest back the old one, like we were hoping for a December rally that did not come. But everything, having said that, many of you would have green pentagon would have known that this is the time frame that we are looking for. Okay, so this is, let's take a look at the other markets which I'm going to show you is the continued foreign funds leaving. You can see minus 43, minus 34. So that pretty much tell you why this market ain't going higher. And what are the sectors? Definitely the sectors that will be in play. Everything is red. Will only be healthcare and finance. Just two sectors. A little bit small one here, I believe. Technology has also turned negative. Yeah, technology is minus 0.02% in terms of its strength ratio to KLCI, and that's what we are in this morning. So you're updated at least on the technology sector, the one that you want to be looking at. Now let's look at the Bursa morning roundup headlines. Okay, definitely the first headline that I want to share with you is the WHO continue to caution that the South African call OmiCron as a mild case. Now everything seems yet to be defined, but so far they have found out the infection to be less severe. It's just that maybe they sounded up the alarm and everybody sort of in a way was panicked as the economy is reopening, and that's what usually the case is. It's coming to December month. This is where we see a lot of traveling among the northern hemisphere during the Christmas break and also the Thanksgiving in here. So what they have found out, there were two cases of the at least in the two cases in South Africa where they appeared the COVID-19, both of them were asymptomatic, means they have gotten the COVID vaccination, but they are not showing the symptoms to be as severe as it seems, but it does seems to be very infectious. But also good news from the vaccine maker, and apparently it's possible that some of the current vaccine which is produced may be evaded by this new OmiCron, and that's why people were so concerned about it. But the vaccine maker from Pfizer and Moderna was assuring that the likelihood of the new vaccine booster will be equipped to fight off this new strain, which they've been expecting away as the continuing mutation of the COVID-19. So what it does say that even right now as we speak, the Dow Jones futures has already recovered, but our local stocks, which you'll be looking at Top Glove, and for those of you who have a lot of the rubber glove or pile up, you bought KOKSAN, Care Plus, Hatalega, all this, I think this is definitely an opportunity for you to lighten up that burden, right? Going forward, this is a nice rally. As the market goes a bit higher, you want to be selling, but if the news, what I've just said before, the COVID-19 may not be as severe, you may see those rubber gloves coming back. All right, people, do the right thing. I know it's difficult to sell some of your loss-making rubber glove stock, but at least I do hope that you have learned your mistakes and not repeat it again. When there's a chance, sell a bit more in here, and don't be foolish not to do that right now. I think over this last 6 to 9 months, a little bit of wisdom has played into, especially in understanding the stock market. So that's a little bit of update on the COVID-19 new mutant strain in here. Now let's go on to the other local news that we have so far. It's definitely one we all seen after the budget 2022 on October. Bursa set to be the ASEAN most expensive market in terms of fees wise in here. Of course, the government with the Cukai Makmur has taken a big punch to our local market, and yet with the increase in stamp duty also, that also seems to be getting a bit of more revenue from the government, but it's put us in a very disadvantage compared to the other market. And for those of you who did come last Friday, that's right, last Friday when we talk about the US market, why opportunity US market, you may also agree with me why going forward our local Bursa market will continue to struggle going forward. And it's always been my goal, pretty much of getting all my students to diversify out from this, and those of you who have diversified earlier would seen your portfolio perform much better compared to it. I think at the end of the day we need to be very open to where the opportunity now. So I'm going to be asking you again, how has your portfolio been doing investing in the local shares in here? It doesn't make sense to continue to lose money while seeing many opportunity elsewhere in there. Maybe you will learn it later, but it's always better to do it rather than later. That's always been my key point in here. And also one of the other stocks, which is the technology stock, another smartphone so-called supply chain maker in here in terms of testing is MNS. So MNS is utilizing almost 80% of its 12,000 square feet production to manufacture what we call automated test equipment for the smartphone region. In the smartphone region continue to perform very well, as such that they are expecting double-digit growth both from the iOS model as well as the Android in here. And but right now let's take a look at MNS, switching to a wider chart in here. MNS has seen a little bit of profit taking so far, and let's bring up MNS in here. And again, this morning, with the continuing 900 points drop, we would see MSS has turned, it's likely to turn negative, I think. It is in the green pentagon in here, but already turned red pentagon. You can see broke through the ATR stop loss very quick as it tried to pounce up in here, raise production, but who knows, this is actually a good opportunity on the longer run. The shorter term, there is definitely a lot of volatility. Let's take a look at what it is, MNS, this today, and it should be down. Oh, it's up 2% in here, and taking a cut from the rise from the US Dow Jones futures that we've seen so far in here. So the tech sector may not be impacted as much as the travel sector, as the leisure sector, but we will see in the coming December rally whether they will see the ability to shake out this new COVID-19 mutant virus, which have taken the world by storm, at least by last Friday so far. But the full impact, I think many of you have known, will take about 2 weeks from now to see whether the existing COVID vaccination is good enough to take upon this new mutant virus in here. All right, let's take a look at the next news that we have. Now the next news is on KPS, which is a real local manufacturer in terms of business. So they're seeing steady sales across and positive momentum in the manufacturing. Operating profits are up 76% in here, and they are reporting a 19% year on year. They do make the King Cole mattresses, those of you who don't know, and a few more things like Toyo Plus manufacturing, Century Bond, CBB, and also a couple of things in here. So let's take a look at KPS. And let's take a look at the stock price this morning in here, KPS. It's almost unchanged, and the chart wise, there you go. So a lot of sideways movement in here. As soon as the market hit 80 cents, a lot of profit taking, and that's tend to be stocks which is below the 1 ringgit will have this kind of big movement in here. So it's pretty difficult to make money just purely by trading. Maybe when you see some sort of base building, which we always talk about in volume spread analysis, understanding that will definitely give you an edge. Most of these stocks, they go up and down here, very, very hard to make money. Okay, you probably end up losing money than anything else unless you have some sort of a good setup. All right, let's move on to our next story. So our next story is on Pestec. Is one of the stocks which we bought earlier for our trading portfolio, and eventually we were almost in the money, 22%, and yet we still have to cut loss. That's one of the benefit, but we are still positive 7% because we are running it with fixed portfolio in here. No need to see, but yet you can still make money in there because it is all about capturing big parts of the gain through a very calculative manner in here, and we do not need to resort to FOMO, fear of missing out. So far, Pestec we have to cut, making a small loss, but again, it's better to cut. And this morning we have seen Pestec. Let's take a look at Pestec here, right? And I think it is. Let's take a look at the stock price. It's down below 1 ringgit. We actually cut out at 1 ringgit, right? The market didn't make bound. So Pestec is going big in here on power infrastructures, and the stock is rated to be 139. You can see here. Let's take a look at Pestec as a target price of 139. And they did go up to about that level. Actually, it did hit up to around short of 130, 120 plus, but many of our members who follow on this stock managed to get out with the 20% profit as they were following the rules that we talk about when the green pentagon is not existing on the KLCI. They take at 20%, and many of them got out with a 20%, which is, in our opinion, a good gold ball in here. So up to now, the Pestec stock has been considered as outperforming 6.4% compared to the other key utility players like Tengaga, YTL, and Malakoff. And Pestec reported a net profit for the 2022 ending fell by 21% to only 11%. So Pestec were likely to see this market continue to struggle. They were expecting the higher one, but the market has a slam down, and we did have to cut at 98 cents in here. So let's move on to our next news, and our next news is on Tencent and Green Packet. So Green Packet has always been in the news, but somehow the stocks hasn't been really performing, and it continued to slide in the downtrend. So let's take a look at Green Packet here. Right, and so you want to see stocks that have some sort of base building, lots of volume in here, but right now on technical side, this will continue to be a challenge for anyone who want to get these shares. So the news is riding on cloud computing, on using Tencent's infrastructure in here. Now let's move over to US, which have reported right now the Dow Jones had rebounded back. Dow Jones futures is up 266 points, but who knows what it will be tonight. But it did tumble on the new variant, OmiCron variant virus in here. And the question is the 35,000, will it hold on? So right now it's holding on in here, and we will see tonight whether we'll see a 600 point rally or 400 point rally, or we will see another fall on the side in in here. Now, one of the interesting stocks that they were talking about in Barron's is definitely an IBM, which is a technology, a turnaround company, which were previously like Microsoft too. So this time they are betting on quantum computing. Right, quantum computing, which is a very fast, high computation used in perhaps in cracking Bitcoin shares and also maybe doing Bitcoin mining. So that seems to be some sort of potential in the IBM. But let's move over to the US side right now and take a look at the market. And you can see it did hit after the upthrust that we've seen on the chart. The market broke through the ATR stop loss in here. This could be what we call a wash, but definitely not a market crash so far. All right, let's take a look at IBM. And you look from here, IBM seems to be coming up from a very low base, right? Very low base in here. Oops, sorry about that. Very low base on a chart wise. It does present an opportunity. So watch out for the green pentagon for those of you who still came from the era like me in IBM and still have that very so-called nostalgic feeling against IBM. All right, now looking on the Singapore side, let's switch over to SGX Singapore here, and we are looking at the stock which is the Thai Beverage, TAH. Okay, it's Y92. And looking at the stock chart in here, has it turned green pentagon yet? Oh no, it actually broke down also, same as last week, due to the COVID new variant was detected in here. And this morning, Y92, which is a stock, is minus 22.2%. So the drink and beverage maker continued to be a challenge. It did not break a bit higher, instead came back down to 68 cents in here. And of course, those of you who been looking at some of these stock recovery shares, it hasn't been very easy, isn't it? All right, let's move over to our next update that we have is definitely on the Pentagon Guider. And last week we didn't have any Pentagon stock trade idea, as we felt that the market was doing very bad. I couldn't find anything interesting, so there was none. But today we do have one, is definitely KOKSAN. All right, let's take a look at KOKSAN this morning. Because of the line change that we have, and KOKSAN so KOKSAN had a nice line change. Of course, the better entry will be in the morning, 227. It's up almost 9% here. Let's take a look at it in here, and we're going to be building a trading plan according to that. Okay, first thing first, you'll notice the market stages were in the yellow caution, right? But if you know, at this point it's not a time to be buying, and if you could get in just below here, but the market just didn't give you a chance for it to break up, the best entry would actually be the below green horizontal line, and this morning it just shoots straight up. But of course, the green pentagon yesterday would give you some sort of early warning in here. There wasn't much of a chance except for here, but that was a point where they actually broke through. But right now at 240 seems to be good. Let's switch over to a weekly chart. Okay, we can say that weekly chart for KOKSAN hasn't turned green yet. Okay, so let's take a look at the green pentagon. Green pentagon just turned yesterday, 26th of November. Okay, green pentagon 26th of November. And so indicator, yes. Okay, so we just put that market breakout on 26. Market in here, important price level. So if you want to look at important price level, we'll just switch on to KOKSAN back. Okay, KOKSAN, and we're going to be looking at the trading plan. So trading plan will be 244, already hit already. 281, okay, 241, this one already hit, and the other one 281. Okay, why the price is moving higher is that's fairly obvious, because of new COVID mutation. Okay, lower support that we can have, and we will switch over to the exit strategy. So you switch over to exit strategy, it will be 181 or weekly support 195. Okay, weekly support 195. High resistance will be 281. Now if you look back, the last time when we had a good trend, this is the one in here, the market seemed to be trending a bit longer. Okay, so take note of it. Okay, because this round, like I said before, if the COVID-19, this is about 1 month. Okay, so 1 month. Okay, let's save that one. And if the COVID-19 were to be not as severe, we will see this KOKSAN coming back. But definitely keep an eye. We will be giving out the market stages to all the pay up members for here, and keep an eye on the red horizontal line. It will stay there for a few days, but immediately once they start to come below the red horizontal line, then we'll see profit taking. So right now it's sticking its head above in here, but usually we find out about 4, 5, 6. That's the maximum. You'll stay up, then you'll see profit taking, which means you will just hold on to this way. So those of you who wanted to get out, keep an eye on this one. Just make sure it holds above 4 or 5 days from now onwards. That's going in, means you're starting to take profit. Okay, for those of you who have it, for those of you who haven't got it, following the trading plan, that's what we are doing, a trade in here to follow the Pentagon. Okay, we follow the Pentagon and want to see how much will the market goes up or not. It may go up, it may come back down. If we do come back down, we need to take evasive action to cut loss if it's needed. Now, all right, now if you don't like this stock, you don't have to do anything, but we will definitely come back next week to take a look at it, whether we see a little bit of profit taking on this stock right now. Okay, so let's give an update so far on our January to November. We are down 7%. Sorry, we are up 7% compared to KLCI minus 6. So in all, we have beat it by 6 and 7, about 15% on the KLCI in here. And some of you may have followed me in here. That's a QR code. You can follow that. It'll be on investing note. Let me just share you that so we can put all our trades up online and on time. You can see it in here. So far, we have cleared most of the stuff. We also cleared Pestec previously in here. That was the last one. We sold it about 99 cents or 98 cents in here. We only left with one stock, which is Inari, and Inari is down minus 1.68% in here. And so far you could see also in our market, the performance that we have, this 2.33% refer to 2.33% return for every trade. So every trade that we do average out about 2.33%, which we beat the KLCI with a minus 7%. Oh, right now it's minus 7% in here. So that's the one you'll be seeing. So far we're still beaten it in here. And also don't forget to join me every Friday for Trade VSA using the 360. And right now we are showcasing the VSA Turtle Trader storyline that we intend to develop our Masterclass students. And for those of you who are interested in becoming a VSA Turtle Trader or follow some of the plan, do watch this show. And also don't forget to join our this intake, December intake, which is on this coming Friday or Saturday. So there's a number in there. You can find out more information if you wish to register for that too. All right, and of course our continuation of our TradeRobie Showcase continues. Last Friday we talked about the US market in here, and those of you who came, a smaller number compared to the local, and I do find many Malaysians are still pretty much very comfortable in the so-called Malaysian market. Even it's not doing well, they're still comfortable here. So I always give them two things. Right? When you are riding a horse and you're very comfortable, you're not doing it right. So that is one of my earlier advice for those of you who are still in the Malaysian market, and for those of you who already move on, we continue to focus on the US market in here to find opportunities where you will do well in 2022. And mark my word, the Malaysian market will not do well in 2022. Still a lot of geopolitical situation, which I did talk about on last Friday in here, and continue to stay while we trade on December 1st, December 1st, 9:30 for our day 3 of our showcase in here, okay, for 360. And our masterclass, yes, this coming Friday, for those of you who have registered, do come back and reseat. It's unlimited reseat that we do, and of course, as long as you maintain your membership in here, this is definitely one of the great investment in your education in the market. If you want good education, good tools, and good trader and coaches to guide you, we are the one. We feel that what we share with you in here does makes a lot of sense. All right, now we're going to be going to our regular stock review. Some of you have, and some of you may already been using SMARTRobie and you already know how to cut loss. We felt that this is definitely a very good opportunity in here, but we do appreciate if you can go over to Google Play Store and give us a stock review for our SMARTRobie. Those of you using it and those of you who are using on the iOS, do take note of it. All right, any stock that you want me to look at, I'll be happy to go into it. Looks like there's no stock pick because everything is falling. The only advice I do have is the rubber glove, right? Take some profit above right now for those of you in here. Okay, if there is no stock review, let's move on, and I want to close the session. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube for all information that we have. And also, not to forget, give us a review on our Google Play Store that you see in here. And I'll see you on Wednesday for our Zoom session. So make sure you register for our Zoom session. And we're talking about trying to do what we call focusing on creating another source of income from trading, okay, from trading intraday. So we're going to be talking about that, and also some stories that we have on our VSA Turtle Trader as we continue our interview for our candidates in here. Much update on Wednesday. See you then. Bye bye.